In August 2018, when a pharmacist snooped through the private medical records of 46 people, the Health Department conducted an investigation. That investigation was later described as inadequate by the Privacy Commissioner, and I'll table that. This investigation found that the pharmacist was routinely surfing through prescription information of people she knew, but who weren't her patients. The Personal Health Information Act dictates that there should be a body to oversee the drug information system, but as of yet, that does not seem to exist. What the pharmacist did wasn't a sophisticated hack. My question for the Minister of Health, does the department intend to create a body to oversee the drug information system and other medical databases as currently is enabled by the Personal Health Information Act? Yes or no?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And the situation the member cited indeed is correct. And in fact, what the member in that particular incident highlights is that in unsophisticated systems and healthcare record management, i.e. paper, traditional-based methods, breaches also could occur, Mr. Speaker. The advantage of having technology platforms is that it actually allows for auditing and tracking of these breaches when they occur, Mr. Speaker, so that accountability can be held when going through with these systems. Through the review, Mr. Speaker, there have been a number of recommendations for the breach and the review that took place, and work is underway on those recommendations.
The Honourable Member for Cole Harbour Eastern Passage.
So I guess, Mr. Speaker, I'm to assume that that answer was no. Unlike the question that the member from Cumberland North asked as to how many people were fired from the Nova Scotia Health Authority, we didn't get an answer to that, although we do know that Sobeys fired the pharmacist, so at least somebody's able to take action. An inadequate investigation into a serious issue is, to be frank, an inadequate response by this government. Nova Scotians deserve some degree of comfort that their private information will be kept that way. And here we have an instance of a government department not doing enough to get to the bottom of what happened, and they're still dithering about the recommendations. If it only they cared that much about keeping the personal information of Nova Scotians as protected as the year-old 811 report and the management fee for the Nova Scotia Ferry. My question to the Minister, can the Minister explain why the Department is often in a reactive position when it comes to safeguarding private information, and will he commit to implementing the oversight of the drug information system as was recommended?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In fact, I disagree with the premise that the member opposite began with. The fact is, Mr. Speaker, the health systems are not in a reactive system. There are audit programs that monitor information throughout our health system, Mr. Speaker, to flag when instances of breaches may occur or inappropriate access is taking place, Mr. Speaker. We have systems in place to assist us with that. And so, Mr. Speaker, this is not about being reactive, but in fact the department and the health authorities are actually being very proactive in many of their systems. And as I'd responded in the first part of the question, Mr. Speaker, the recommendations that came forward as part of the learning, as the member would know, just like in accounting and audit processes, controls evolve and develop over time, and when an error occurs, Mr. Speaker, you learn from those experiences and strengthen it going forward.
The Honourable Member.